Welcome to the Rec Wrap. I'm your host, Larissa Lonsdale. Today we have Finbar Keenan here to talk about Bocce Ball. Thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Can you tell us a little bit about the history of Bocce Ball and what you're looking at doing?
Sure. Well, bocce, for those that don't know, is a game that goes back way back in history. It's estimated from some findings archaeologically that the game was formed around 5400 BC in Egypt. As a matter of fact, King Tut played himself and had death at 19. Not as shrouded in mystery as we think. It was a bocce hit. No, just kidding. But so the game progressed throughout the BC years, I should say, and eventually reached where we might expect in Italy in the late 19th century. It was formed there by actually one of the revolutionaries in Italian history, and he sort of helped it become a national game. And then in 1896, which would have been the year of the first modern Olympic Games in Athens, Greece, they actually had the first bocce Olympiad. So not part of the Olympics, but a similar concept. So from there, as somebody from the Northeast, I would know a lot of Italians came over to America starting in the early 1900s, and with it, they brought the game of bocce with them. So it's sort of picked up steam, you know, these 120 plus years now since the beginning of the 20th century, and it's now, you know, very popular throughout the Northeast, where I'm from. I'm from northern New Jersey, and most every township up there has their own set of bocce courts, and there are recreational leagues, there are charity events, all types of forms of bocce. So I have quite a bit of experience playing. The town I grew up in, excuse me, they formed a league in the late 1960s into the early 1970s. At the time, a lot of post-World War II and Korean War Italian Americans lived in the capital of New Jersey, which would be Newark. Many moved out to the suburbs of that county, Essex County, and in the process, again, they brought bocce with them. So in my town, when I was a young man, you know, not playing anymore, not with us any longer, unfortunately, but I have friends older than me that have been playing from the beginning, you know, so going on 55 or so years. So I learned from them along the way. Played in what would be a four-person per team league, which is not going to be our aspiration here at first, which we'll get to. And just had a great time with it over the years. It's fun, it's social, it's competitive like anything else, but it's recreational and very social and very fun.
Well, good. So what would you like to bring here to Tellico Village?
Okay, so with the outset of these courts being recently built at the rec center, you, I, and Simon, of course, we took a look at them one day back in early July, and they're not official length or texture, but they're also just fine. So I think for our purposes to start out, see what kind of interest we get, and just kind of play ad hoc, picking up the balls and just playing on their own. So my goal would be to get some form of league action going. I would propose that we play 4-on-4, two person per team games. Perhaps we standardize it in that teams are established, with their 2 teams, perhaps with a third person as a sub, or a walk-up variety. My preference would be to have established teams, come up with some funny name, related to bocce. And for the team name, I'm in the Dart League, they do similar things, and we take it from there. I did have a request from a former New Jersey person who's never played the game before but is very interested and wanted to know if we'd be teaching classes, anything of that nature. And that day when we were at the courts, Simon, you and myself, we did kind of mention maybe we just put together a 4-on-4 demo.
Yes. Yeah.
And people can come watch. We get it out there. It's a very, very simple game. It's equivalent to horseshoes that you roll instead of tossing a shoe into the air. So the scoring concepts are very similar, very, very similar. So anybody who's ever played horseshoes, probably most everybody, will get the concept of bocce extremely easily.
Okay. So you had mentioned, so somebody wouldn't have to bring their own partner. What about their own equipment?
So as far as I know, I haven't seen it yet. I have some equipment with me, but I think at the rec center you have
we have 2 sets.
2 sets of balls. So Polino and 8 balls per set. Okay, which would of course be standard. That's great. And then really all anybody might need to bring, the only other besides this little guy, the Polino, and the actual bocce ball would be a tape measure, small tape measure, because it's closest, same as horseshoes.
Okay.
Closest to the Polino gets to the point where you can score, if it would be 2-on-2 games, people will be rolling 4 balls, so 2 down this end, alternate 1 and 3rd will roll, 2 and 4. I don't want to get too specific on the rules, but if the one person gets closest to the Polino with all 4 balls, they would get 4 points.
Okay.
If only one gets closest, that would be 1 point, and then it goes back to the other end. Whoever gets closest, when it goes back to the other end, they will have Polino in hand, and they will lead, which is something of advantage because you are the first one to attempt to be closest to the Polino.
Okay.
And get the point.
Well, great. If our viewers are interested in signing up or joining the league, what's the best way for them to do that?
So I formed a separate email from my personal ones, kind of just to segregate this out from my other emails, not to get it lumped up, and gave it kind of a bocce name. So actually just last night I formed a Yahoo email account, and it's boccefinbar@yahoo.com. So BOCCEFINBAR@yahoo.com. It's a working email. I've already tested. I've sent it to you, to my wife, sent it up to myself. I need to get zoned in a little bit for my purposes, but that'll give us a place where people can feel me out on what we're trying to do and where we go, and again, if we're going to do any practice games and the like.
Well, great. So if you are interested in checking out Bocce Ball League, make sure to reach out to Finbar at boccefinbar@yahoo.com. And please remember, all players do need to be a rec member or pay a guest fee. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Okay.
And thank you for joining us on the Rec Wrap. We'll see you next time. This is a Teleco Village Network presentation.